Well, what is going on with the young white children that are? You see them; they're dressing like blacks, they're talking like blacks, they're trying to act like blacks. So, do the young people have the same mentality as the older folks, or they haven't got to them yet, or what is going on with all of that?
As a child is taught, so is his thought. As a child is taught, so is his thought. There is no way children are going to be able to think differently than the generation that raises them, unless the generation that raises them begins to think differently as well. Our children are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the preceding generation unless that preceding generation consciously tries to educate those children in a different way. As I always say, there can be no other type of revolution, cultural, spiritual, educational, political, or economic, unless there is first a psychological revolution. We have to have an evolution of consciousness before we can have a revolution of condition and circumstance. If there is no evolution of consciousness, then you can forget ever seeing any type of change in the succeeding generation. We have to change ourselves to change our conditions. Black people are working from the outside inward. You have to work from the inside outward. We're trying to change the external without changing the internal. You can destroy all vestiges of black oppression that you see around you, but those vestiges will be recreated by black people tomorrow if we don't first rid ourselves of the self-hating tendencies that we all have inside of us. You can build a fully functioning, totally successful, independent black community tomorrow, but guess what? If we are not able to convince black people to support that community, then it will self-destruct. Remember, black people are experts in their own self-destruction and annihilation. Over a process of 2.5 centuries, our enemy has taught us how to destroy ourselves. And he has done it so effectively that he even needs to be present in order to make sure that this happens. It will happen without him even being there, because the virus of Willie Lynch menticide, the virus of black self-hatred, the virus of racial self-destruction has been so thoroughly surgically implanted, psychosurgically implanted to the DNA of the African in this country that it's almost impossible for us to get out of our situation unless we train the next generation in a way that allows them to grow up without having to participate in the filth of self-destruction. Education is the solution. We keep talking about building all these other institutions. None of them are going to work, Sister Beverly. None of them are going to work. They're going to all fail because the people who are responsible for making sure these institutions survive are infected with a virus. Our people have a virus in our brains that continually allow our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions to malfunction. You cannot liberate black people with this current generation of psychologically damaged people. We have to raise up another generation of African children, and the sooner we accept this reality that you're not going to get out of this crisis with the people you have right now, the sooner we accept that, the better off we'll be, because we'll stop trying to fix broken adults and we'll start trying to raise healthy children. But as long as we keep on wasting our time trying to get 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old grown black folks who are psychologically and racially damaged to see the light of day, we're going to stay in the situation we're in. Build for the babies, and the babies will in turn build for the future.
Well, is this why that they are putting, some people say chips and things like that, and people, so this say that you educate our people, but then if they go to the doctor and they put this chip inside of you that can control you, and so is that why they're going in that direction?
Well, I'm not speaking of a physical chip. I'm speaking of a psychological chip through conditioning. Now, we do know that there are projects underway now to actually equip every human being, not just black folk, with a chip by the New World Order so they know where you are at all times. Because, again, white supremacy is very paranoid. But I'm not speaking of an actual physically surgery being implanted. I'm speaking of psychosurgery. The 243 years of forced condition.
Okay. So now, you don't think that they will put, and I'm just, brainstorming here. You don't think that they will put, like, the chip in you and, they, like you say, they're paranoid and they want total control. And so, they say that they can do things now to make people react and things along those lines.
Exactly. See, black people have been so thoroughly conditioned, they really don't have to put a physical chip in black people. White folk have absolutely no concern whatsoever about black people in America doing anything of significance to bring themselves out of their current state of oppression. They sleep totally peaceful at night because the people you look up to in your community are totally controlled by them. Totally controlled by them. The Black Leadership Corporation, and that's exactly what it is, a corporation. Black leadership is for sale. You don't have any serious black leaders nowhere in this country, and I would argue that my premise for saying that is based upon the fact that there is no black program of action that has been enunciated by any black leader. All they do is give you agendas, marches, speeches, protests, and a whole bunch of rhetoric through speech. But there is no program of uplift that is currently being implemented for black folks by any black leader in this country. You don't have any black leadership. If we want leaders, we're going to have to build them ourselves. They do not exist.
I know we don't have any political and religious leaders.
Not at all.